Welcome back everyone to another episode of ShadeTV. My name is Marissa Hill and today we'll be talking about a brand that we have actually never covered on the channel before. This is GmbH and they've collabed with Asics on the Gel-Kayano Legacy, and this is in the black and white colorway. Let's take a quick sneak peek. Welcome back everyone to another unboxing and review. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. Today we'll be discussing a collaboration done with GmbH and Asics on the Gel-Kayano Legacy. We'll go through the overview of these, jump into size and fit, followed by how I style this really fashion forward looking sneaker. Then we will conclude with how these are currently doing on the resale market, and these definitely sold out really fast. It was crazy that I was able to actually cop a pair. All right, so let's jump right into the overview. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the brand GmbH, that actually is translated into English as LLC. So very interesting name that they decided to go with, but it is actually a menswear store as well as a fashion label, which makes sense as to how the sneaker came out looking, because this is a very fashion forward looking sneaker. The label is currently, and I guess stores are based in Berlin and Paris, and it was initially established in Berlin. As far as the colors and textures used throughout, this is just a really sick and fire looking sneaker in hand. I got so many compliments honestly when we were shooting the video of this outside, so this is definitely a sneaker that really I feel like is eye-catching and people just stop and stare at it because it's really not something I typically see people wearing, but a very trendy looking sneaker that you can really style up. So as far as materials used, as you can see here, we've got a lot of patent leather that they used on the upper, but it is in a clean, refreshing white tone. And then as far as the meshing goes, that's in a nice, just kind of silvery heather gray with some black popping underneath. And then we've got that same texture and colorway working its way up to the tongue. And then we've got some kanji writing here on the top, as well as the Asics branding in silver. And then it's covered completely around in this nice, simple patent white leather. Right now I have it laced up with white laces, but you do get the option to also lace it up with black. I feel like I could go either way, but I'm feeling the white right now for this one. So let's take a look at those details, then move along to the side paneling. So wrapping around to the side panels, for the middle side of the sneaker itself, we've got the Asics branding on the side in a patent white leather. As we work our way to the back of the sneaker, this is where we're getting some darker hues of this black shade. Again, keeping with that patent material, but just in a black colorway. The interior is in black. We've got GmbH in one insole and Asics on the other in a white tone. And then wrapping around to the lateral side, this is where we are getting something something that's really cool as far as mixtures and materials go. We've got that patent leather, but on top it's actually embroidered. Then we've got the Gel-Kayano Legacy in white on top of black, so that really pops. And then as we work our way up to the front, this is really cool as well. We've got some nice silvery textured tones intermixed with black, but again, just really making this a very eccentric and high-end looking sneaker with a little bit of some patterns intermixed here. As we work our way to the bottom of the midsole, this is where we're getting some different hues of black. So we've got some shiny hues of black on the back of the heel here, as well as part of the upper of the midsole. And then on the bottom, we've also got the same textures of black hues on the bottom as well. All right, now let's look at the box real quick. We've got just a simple box with Asics and GmbH's logo on the front, but nice that they've kind of just coordinated that, I guess, with you know, those two logos. As far as their logo goes as well, the only other place that you really are going to see it is right here on the outer portion of the right sneaker. So one side's got GmbH's logo, the other side has the Gel-Kayano Legacy logo. All right, let's take a look at those last and final details. Size and fit goes, I would say for this specific silhouette, it was based and pulled from 9 archival Gel-Kayano sneakers from the past. So that's pretty crazy that they took 9 different silhouettes and combined them all to recreate this Gel-Kayano Legacy, which makes sense as to why it's called Legacy. I went based off of some of the other Gel-Kayanos that I have in my collection, decided to go true to size, and I feel like this does fit me perfectly. I do have high arch, narrow feet. Again, this is a bit of a more narrow silhouette. So if you have flatter, wider feet, it may differentiate slightly different from my own just because we have different types of feet. So do take that into consideration when deciding on what size range will work best for you. All right, so as far as styling goes, again, this is a very just fashionable looking sneaker. I think that it's very sleek and the color scheme isn't too hard as far as a color palette to style. For the first look, I decided to wear this black oversized blazer that had some white stripes on it, and then I paired that with a nice maxi leather skirt. Then for the second look, I decided to wear a black ribbed romper that was tight fitted, and then I layered that with just a nice simple leather bomber jacket. I think leather and black tones will go perfectly with this, just to kind of highlight the shades of black that you see throughout this silhouette. Last and final look, I decided to wear a black buckled jacket with a simple pair of black cargo pants for a nice all black look. All right, so as far as the retail goes, these retailed at $190. They're currently going between $200 to $280 depending on your size range. All right, everyone, that is it for this unboxing and review. If you were able to take a W, congrats to you. These were very difficult to get. Other than that, that is it for this unboxing and review. My name is Marissa Hill. This is ShadeTV. We'll catch you on the next episode.